Very.
No, don't
Oh
be
my gosh.
nervous. I
Are
don't
my
even
glasses
understand.
straight?
They're straight.
These are my
You look
grandmother's.
beautiful. Really?
Yes. So these
Are they
my
prescription?
There are no frames.
There's no frames. Okay, yeah.
My grandmother passed away, and when I found out I was doing this interview, I found these out of nowhere. And I didn't have time to like put the frame in or anything like that. But I knew that I wanted her here with me.
Oh.
So I said, I'm going to wear them.
And they're perfect. They look
And
so
they're
cute.
perfect.
Yeah.
And they are uneven, crooked, and everything. And
They don't look
she
good.
just made it work for me.
I like your earrings too.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Gotta rep my city.
I was so happy when you told me that you were like moved by what you were seeing with Women of TmrO. I felt really happy that I guess the idea of what we were doing was actually making an impact or an impression on people.
Yes.
So thank you for just like being transparent and be like, I love what you're doing.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. We
so
started in the DMs.
We started in the DMs. Oh my gosh, our journey.
Yeah, I started the DMs, just kind of like playing our roles in our different careers.
Yes.
And I guess it was just divine timing that we, were able to connect, and now you're here.
Yes, it's divine, 1000%. Especially with our conversation, our initial and everything that I'm doing that's intentional, especially for the past year.
Yeah.
Intention has been my drive.
I love that.
Intention has been everything, spiritually first. I intended and knew that I wanted to become more spiritual. I knew I had to in order to transform myself.
Transform your life.
Yeah, and transform my life. Yeah.
For those of just tell the audience, our viewers, I should say, who you are and what you do.
My name is Chasity, and I am an entertainment publicist. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm also a Navy veteran.
That's great.
And that's what I do.
Yeah, and as an entertainment publicist, you kind of shared some backstory with me, but your current role, what is your day-to-day?
So my current role, I am the publicist for Math Hoffa, who is currently one of the biggest independent podcasters in the world.
That's crazy.
Insane. And when Math and I first met, I was right out of college. Mm-hmm. And nobody was really giving me an opportunity. And, he had his battle rap career. And we just literally met on accident.
Wow.
And, and I told him what I did. I was actually doing PR for another show.
Uh-huh.
And that was actually my foot in the door to show what I got. Okay. So I'm like, you a rapper? I want you. You a singer? Come to the show, You
were like were you working for free?
I was working for free, 1,000%. Ubers, food, things like that. But even with the podcast, my best friend now, she was the producer. And another friend of mine who I interned with at Bad Boy. She wasn't an intern. I was an intern at Bad Boy. I would actually intern for her. So she was another producer for the show. And I was just coming back and they were like, well, you want to do this PR thing? We're all starting. Let's do it. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
Why not? I was bartending at the time. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I can work for my own terms. And I wanted to launch my firm anyway.
Yeah.
So that's how that started. And that's how I met. Well, not how I met Math. When I met Math and I found out that he was an actual rapper, I was like...
Because he wasn't podcasting at the time.
Not at all. Not at all. Actually, he came on our show.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, this is dope. I want to do this. Literally said that. He was like,
wait. I want to back it up because Navy? What made you sign up? Like, how did you...
Bad decisions. That wasn't a bad decision.
Uh-huh.
My mom went away on vacation. I crashed her car. Clean. Crashed it. Just reckless.
Were you supposed to be driving it?
No. It was a plot from the beginning. A total plot. I was really waiting for her to leave her keys. My mom must have picked up her keys to take them to DR with her through like 3 or 4 times. Have you ever like watched your parents pick up their keys to take it with them so you won't use the car and just look like
waiting for them to like
put it down? She did that 3 times until the last time she put it down, and I think I distracted her like on purpose, and she left them. And I was like, party time.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I partied myself into the Navy.
Oh, wow. So, wait. So you crashed the car and she was like, you got to go?
No. So I crashed the car and my dad, who you met, my dad and I have a great relationship. He always bailed me out.
Yeah.
My whole life. Always. So I just knew he was going to bail me out. I'm like, this is a big one, but it's my first big one. I'm 19.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I was like, so I said, Dad, I made a mistake. I told him what happened. And he's like, mistake? That's not a mistake. Like, that's huge. So he said, okay, I'll do it. You have to do something for me. And I said, I'll do anything.
Wait, you were in jail?
No, I wasn't in jail.
Okay, you were just trying to.
It was a hit. It was a hit and run. I didn't hurt. Listen, I didn't hurt anybody.
Okay.
No one was hurt. It was literally Mexican undocumented citizens.
Okay.
So they said I can go because they were undocumented.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, go, because if the cops came, they would have gotten in trouble.
Got it.
So they saved both of us.
Right.
Because I was underage and probably drinking. I can't remember, but I think so.
Yeah.
I think I was. But yeah, my dad was just like, you have to do something for me. I said, I will do anything you would like to do. Anything. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. So he took me downtown Brooklyn at the time. It was all of the armed services, Army, Navy, Marines, and put me in front and told me to pick one.
Why did he want you to do that?
Because he's a Marine.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he felt like there was going to be some value instilled.
Yes. I wasn't really reckless, but I was.
Oh, you were heading that direction.
I was heading in that. I was like dyeing my hair green and like different colors and getting tattoos. I was almost there.
Yeah.
So God intervened. I feel like God intervened through my dad, used my dad as a vessel. And at that time, I'm 19, but I'm also naive. And I listened to my parents.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I had a choice. You know what I mean? I was just like, well, I told him I'll do anything, so I have to be married to this decision. It wasn't like, oh, you can change your mind. You don't have to go. Like, that wasn't in my mind to, like, defy my dad. It was like, I told my dad, this is what I'm going to do. So this is what we're going to do. But if you're going to do this, get me out of here before my mom gets here.
Okay.
Because I don't want to hear her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either way. That didn't happen, though. My mom came back. The car was fixed by the time she came back.
Your dad fixed the car.
My dad fixed the car.
Okay.
By the time she came back, my mom was devistated.
That you left?
That I was leaving. That I was going to the military. She cried her eyes out. I didn't understand that. One, she was going to have to find out anyway. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that it's easy to fix a car with insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because nobody saw what happened. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know these things because I'm too young.
Yeah.
So this was an easy fix, but I didn't know. So she felt like I gave my life away.
Wow.
Was
she upset with you?
She was upset, but it wasn't anything she can do. So she just literally, my parents are really supportive. I'm blessed. She just did what I did. She made lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
She gave me a going away little party and said good luck. She took me shopping for things I needed. She got my hair done. She got it cut for me because they said if they cut my hair, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was super supportive.
She was super supportive. And you were saying this was kind of like a whirlwind for you.
Yeah.
Like, you just were just going off what your dad said. You were scared. You were naive. When did it hit you that, I'm in the military? Like, and how did it hit you? Like,
when it hit me? It hit me when I got on that. You get on a bus. You go through a whole lot of steps, and it's cool. They treat you great. You get all the food. You stay in the best hotels.
And so this is the Navy?
The Navy.
Okay. Because there's different divisions.
Yeah,
what
the
I learned
Navy.
earlier.
You stay in the best hotels. You experience all the great things. And then when it's time for boot camp, you get on this bus. And all I remember, I got on a plane. No, you get on a plane. After the plane, you get off. Once you get off that plane, you get on this bus. And when you get off that bus, it's over. It's like, for a crew, like yelling, like
Dang.
straight yelling. It's not a game. Like, that's when I was like,
oh, wow.
Return to sender. Please return to sender. Can you return me, please?
Right. And you couldn't.
And I couldn't. And I actually did boot camp twice, too.
Now, what is the boot camp?
So boot camp is 8 weeks. And in boot camp, you do intensive training. It's literally running, push-ups. It's psychological training, written tests every single day. You eat 3 meals a day, square meals a day. That's it. Nothing in between. No snacks. And just a lot of physical training every single day. And swimming. So when I joined the Navy, I didn't know how to swim. But they told me that they would teach me. They made it seem like it was easy. For me, being from Brooklyn, New York, typical black family, we don't swim.
Yeah.
We don't have pools. I mean, we have city pools, but who goes in those, you know? So I didn't know how to swim. And when my mom sent me away to camp, I didn't learn. But they made it seem like it would be so easy to learn. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Especially at like, what, 19?
19, right. I mean, but I saw other people learning, and I was like, maybe. So just say I get to the end of my first set of boot camp. And it's time for graduation. Like, my mom and my dad is calling, like, when are we going to get the graduation date? I still didn't pass the test, Like, I said, I didn't pass the test. So at the time, my chief, he was African-American, and it was 5 of us. The Navy is predominantly Caucasian, and people in power... now it may be a little different. I don't know the statistics now, but people in power are like of Caucasian descent. At the time, our chief felt bad for us. Like, he's like, the only people that are not going to graduate are these 5 black girls. You know what I mean? Who have the intelligence. They passed the test. They passed everything else. So he did something illegal and passed us. But he got caught. So when he got caught, we were sent up to just say the president, right? So the highest rank in boot camp is like the captain. We were sent up to him, and he asked us, like, did he do it? And we defended him. We said no, So our punishment, we ended up telling the truth because he told us to. Our punishment was to go all the way back to the first day of boot camp.
Oh, wow.
So I did. I went to the first day of boot camp and then went all the way to the end again. And I still had to do another week. By the end of the next week, I learned.
Wow.
Literally, but it was God, honestly. It was, and my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I got on the phone with my dad. I said, listen, I don't know when I'm graduating. I don't know when I'm getting out of here. I'm not getting it. And my dad was literally like, I'm buying my ticket. You are going to swim. You are going to graduate, and I'm going to see you at graduation. And I said, Dad, please don't do that. He said, I will talk to you later.
Why you say please don't do that?
Because I wasn't ready to swim yet.
Okay.
I wasn't ready. I didn't think that I was going to swim.
Yeah.
He said, I'll talk to you later. I love you. So I had that on my mind, and I'm like, this man's about to buy tickets to come, and I'm not going to graduate. So that was on my mind, and one day I just got in that water. I said, God, lead me.
Wow.
And it happened. I don't know how I did it. I don't.
It was meant.
It was just meant.
Yeah, it was
I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm heavily rely on God. It was God because it wasn't me.
Yeah, you hadn't figured it out
I
yet.
didn't know, I did not figure it out.
So how long were you in the Navy? Yeah, how long were you?
So I did 4 active duty years and then 4 reserve duty years.
And what's the reserve?
So reserves, you just do like weekends out the month or whatever.
Okay.
But I didn't have to do that because I was doing other things. Like I didn't activate myself.
Okay.
So I was fine. Like
Okay.
I ended up literally, I left active duty and 2 weeks later I got my internship at Bad Boy.
Okay, so you were technically in reserve when you started interning at Bad Boy.
Yeah.
So you came back to New York.
I came back to
and
New York.
you were like, what's next?
Yeah, I knew what was next. You know, I came back to New York because I was already plotting when I was in the military. I was like, this is not it. You know, like, this is not it for me. You know, people telling me what to do. And the habits that I gained in the military, I didn't like. You know, like.
What were the habits?
Like drink like a sailor. That's a thing. You know, and we're young.
Yeah.
Kids run this country, just to be clear.
Wow.
Think about it.
Yeah.
18, 19, 20, 21. That's who's running this country.
Wow.
For the most part. Most of the enlisted folks are between the ages of 18 and 25, which is the majority. And then you get to like the petty officers and things like that. They're still in their 20s. It's not until you get to like the chiefs and like the officers where you get into your 30s. And we're still young, right?
Yeah.
But the majority is the enlisted. Those are the people that hold it down. And those are teenagers. So everybody's impressionable. So you gain habits. You're growing up in that.
Yeah.
So you're getting all these habits. And it was just crazy. It was immediate. Like, you know, drinking and just being out. And you're getting so much money that, well, not even that much money. Just money that you've never seen before. And you're traveling for free. You're getting culture shocked.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. And I wasn't horrible, you know. It was just, I felt like I knew that I had another purpose. And I knew that I wanted to do something else. And I knew it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I didn't see myself retiring in the military. And it's no disrespect to those who do. Because I have great friends that still are in the military. And I love them.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for their service. And I'm so proud of them. But for me, I knew that wasn't it.
So how did you know what area you wanted to go in? Like, were you inspired by something that said entertainment?
Yeah, my dad, my brother that passed away when I was young, he was in entertainment, like heavy. Like he danced in music videos and like did a lot of things like that. My dad was a bodyguard for a second, like a celebrity bodyguard for a second. So it was kind of always around me. I like to write too. So like poetry and journalism was my interest. But when I went to college, right before I went to the Navy, I took a broadcast journalism class. And I was like, this is not for me because the cameras were just so hot. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah, I'm good.
You didn't want to be the anchor woman?
I didn't want to be the anchor woman. I was like, no, I'm good. So I found a PR class, but by accident, I had to like fill in some courses. And I was like, okay, take this class. I can graduate. Cool. Fell in love with it. I was like, okay, I can still make an impact. I can still be a part of something and do things and help the talent. So I can still be there.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be seen.
Yeah.
But I still can be seen a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's all about service for me. So I was like, I think I like this.
That was the lane.
That was the lane.
And so when you were an intern at Bad Boy, what was it that's where you were going? You wanted to be in the Publicist, the publication department?
I did. So I wanted to do PR, but that wasn't the position. My whole thing was just get in the door.
Get in the door.
So a friend of mine, my friend Whitney, I love her. She's my friend to this day. Hey, Whitney, thank you. She got me the internship. I was still in the Navy. She was still working at Bad Boy, Facebook. And I saw, I was like, she's still working at Bad Boy. So I was like, girl, just give me anything. Like, I'm in school. I got my own money. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. The Navy got me. I'm good. Yeah. Just get me in the door. She's like, girl, I got you. So literally, I got out the Navy. 2 weeks later, I had my interview. I was already chosen.
Yeah.
and I was the assistant to the senior director of regional planning. I forgot her strategic planning or something.
Yeah.
I forgot her title at that moment, but I was her direct assistant. She had a paid assistant, and then I was her intern. So that's how that happened, and I was there for like a year. And then I realized that I needed to do more.
Okay. What do you mean you realized you needed to do more? Like you wanted to get paid, or you wanted to have a different position?
What it was it was moving fast paced, and I wasn't ready yet.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is a great opportunity, but I'm not going to get the best of it that I need because I'm not ready yet. I'm not fully equipped yet. I'm not fully knowledgeable yet of how I want to get into the space I need to get.
Yeah.
So if I'm not knowledgeable on how I'm going to get to the space I need to get to, how am I going to get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me rewind. I said I'm going to go back to school where I know it's slow.
Yeah.
Where I can hone my craft and take my time, which was Virginia, where I served.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I went on reserve duty, went to Virginia. So that's how I got on my internship, through reserve duty. I interned there too. Like I interned for a stylist. I interned for whoever needed PR interns, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was
so really you had that mentality of get your foot in the door, do whatever you need to do to get exposure, to get experience.
Experience, yeah. I'm like, I don't care if you may not know them, but I'm practicing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I literally remember getting media contacts in Virginia, and it's slow there. You know,
Yeah.
it's not that many. No, it's nothing.
Yeah.
There, really. And literally having to get lists and print them out and, like, have these books of paper and just have these outlets and look through things and comb through them, and I had them color coded, and it was wild. I knew. I was like, I'm doing this. And while I was in Virginia, somebody from my high school saw what I was doing. I don't know if I said something on Facebook. I don't know what I was doing, but they were a group of DJs, and I'll never forget it. I love them. And they were just like, you just seem like you have a lot of drive, and we need PR.
Whoa.
At that time, I didn't know that you need a manager too. Like, you need you need so many things, right? I'm just like, anybody needs PR, I'm going to do it, you know? So they literally came from New York to come to Virginia, to my apartment.
To meet you?
To meet with me and everything. And we didn't do a lot of work. But just that alone gave me the drive to know that I'm meant to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people, like, see that in me, like, you legit, like, came to see me, you know, just off of something you saw. I really don't remember. Yeah. And we're all still cool to this day. And they see what I'm doing. They're like, see? Like, no, you didn't do anything with us, but still. So, yeah.
You obviously believed in yourself already, though, because you went after stuff. Or was it just, like, out of necessity or just, like, experimenting?
I don't know. Because I can't say that I believed in myself.
Okay.
You know? Like, because I really wasn't that confident. Mm-hmm. I just knew that I liked the job.
And you were willing to do the work.
Yeah, and I'm willing to do the work. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to learn how to do it correctly.
Got it.
And I wasn't afraid of being embarrassed. Like, I was never that person. Like,
that's a big thing. Not being afraid to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Many successful people say they lived in their car, they sold stuff on the side of the street, out of their trunk.
Yeah.
And you like, I mean, even Kanye West, like, his story talks about how he would just run up to, you know, famous rappers trying to get them to, you know, buy his beats or rap on his beats. And you really have to not care what someone thinks.
Yes, basically. And I didn't care. I was just like, whatever you need, I work for free.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know. Because my mom thought I was insane. And my dad He's just always like, go for the goal. Whatever you want to do it. You got it. And he always kind of like put this invisible star power in me all the time, you know, like just like he calls me princess, and he'll always just say I'm a star.
Oh,
and like he'll always say like, he'll always say like I remind him like of a celebrity or something, or he'll call me a celebrity. So
I love you.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of helped that a little bit, you
Yeah.
know. And what my dad thinks means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. So I think I kind of wanted to live up to that too.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like I just
sense.
wanted to like beat odds at any means necessary, especially because in the military, even though I did it, I wasn't good at it. You know, it wasn't like, those weren't like my glory days. Those weren't the days that, like, I'd be like, oh my God, it was the greatest experience. No, they were actually like the worst few years of my life. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah, it sucks.
it's like you woke up and like, where am I?
Yes, like every day I was like, this shit sucks and I have to be here. So
I think it created some more, even more drive and determination to like make it elsewhere.
Right. So after that too, I was like, I'm gonna fucking prove to those fucking people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm above this shit.
Yeah.
That they don't have to fucking treat me like this. Because they treated me so bad.
Wow.
And like I was dumb too, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was like all that. So I think all the drive of humility made me not be afraid to be humiliated in something that I actually wanted to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that
you're like, if I could take shit from people in the places I don't want to be, I definitely can do it in the places that I really.
Correct. And like subconsciously, I think that's really what it was.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, yo, like I've been through much worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just that, and that was just my drive, and
I have seen like just from just like watching people's stories that pain, discomfort, things like that are really what teaches us the lessons. Yeah. Like being comfortable, being happy, we don't really learn as much from those experiences. No. But when we're like in pain, devastated, heartbroken, like that's when it like shocks our body and we like, it makes an impression on us.
Yes, yeah. And I think it does.
So you went from internship to internship, job to job, doing stuff for free. Was it smooth or was it insane? Like were there crazy moments?
Yeah, so much. I remember this one time at Bad Boy. It was like this monumental moment that I feel like nobody remembers except the people that were there. I remember working at Bad Boy and Puff was having a penthouse party. I, again, not afraid to humiliate myself. Like I always just worked long hours. And still with my friend Joy, who I ended up working with the podcast later. Mm-hmm. We had to like set up stuff for this puffy party. Uh-huh. So we set it up. We got the stuff there. There was this tub and everything, and people had to light the candles and just get all the ambiance together.
Okay.
Anyway, after everything was done, I remember Joy and I was like, yes, we are out of here. We could have stayed. Like, with these parties, like, you could stay.
Yeah.
But if you stay, back then you look thirsty. Even though you just did all the work. You know what I mean? You still look thirsty. Like, nobody knows who you are. Nobody really cares. You don't look the part. So what are you staying for, right?
Yeah.
So we left. The next day, we wake up. It's viral. Kevin Hart and T.H.I.S songs were in the bathtub, and a girl's hair got caught on fire from a candle that we were lighting. Like, the girl's hair caught on fire in the tub. It was crazy. I don't think I like that particular candle. But I don't take that credit. But I was there. Like, I seen the setup before they got in the tub. And
why were they in the tub? Why
was it? It was a moment. It was I know that it was around the last King of Paris time.
Okay.
So, like, he was doing a really big rollout with those girls. Like, it was a lot going on, and it was, like, a lot of...
Was that Dawn and Kalina?
Kalina, and it was a lot of, like, Ciroc stuff going on. Remember, he had, like, all the Ciroc commercials at that time. Like, it was huge. Yeah. And then it was, like, Bad Boy Films going on at that time. He was doing a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And we were at the Broadway office, so that it was a lot. That's a lot of building to cover. It was like Sean John and everything, so it was always something going on. But I remember that moment, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I'm not gonna have an internship when I walk in the door. Like, they're gonna blame me.
Did you?
Like, no, I did. I had it. They didn't blame me. I was. Nope.
But you were terrified.
Yeah, I was terrified. I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna blame me."
Yeah.
So that was a crazy moment. There's been a lot of moments in my career.
That was a crazy moment for sure. What was the dynamic? Now, you said you came in with your friend Joy brought you in. Was there a lot of like sisterhood, women empowerment in that office around that time?
With Bad Boy, Puffy is a very alpha male kind of guy. So naturally, his leaders are going to lead like him, right? So they were powerful too, which was a great thing to look up to, you know? But those were big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I was like, I'm not ready for this, right?
Got it.
But then when I moved forward, and now this is now in the space of the podcast, I landed an internship with another company, and no, I didn't feel the love there. I didn't feel any women empowerment. I felt like it was a crab in a barrel. You can do well, but you cannot do as well as me, because you cannot you can't get my spot kind of thing. Kind of mindset. I'm not saying that that's what it was, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It felt like I couldn't showcase my skills the way I wanted to. It felt like if I was even liked even a little bit too much, that the position was taken away. You know what I mean? It just never felt welcoming.
Yeah.
And then there's always those that analogy, wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that too. Like
scandalous.
Yes, like, hey girl. No, girl. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking like, yeah, like I'm getting somewhere, you know? And then it's like, no, you know? So for me early on, I stood alone in what I did. So when I did start working with the podcast, which is now my best friend and Joy, she's my other girlfriend, my very close friend. We're still friends to this day. We were the example of women empowerment. We helped each other.
So you created that for yourself.
We created that for ourselves because nobody was opening the doors for me. All the talent we got, I got that on my own. I didn't get it through other people. When I met Math, and like I said, what's funny is that the company that I was working for, Math's friend was a client, but I never met him through there. Like, never seen him through there. But when I did meet him, like, when I met Matt, we kind of like really like clicked. And like, I remember early on just telling him all the gripes that I had about the industry. And he was like, yeah, I know that. You know, he would tell me like, yo, I know that, you know, that company or whatever. He was like, word, you know, he was like, wow. And he would tell me, you know, like, people never want to see you do better than them, you know, but you just got to be different and you just have to be you.
Wow.
And I remember him telling me that. Meeting him and putting him onto the show is when he decided that he wanted me to be his publicist. So when he put me on as his publicist, even though he was going through some things, it opened a lot of doors for me because his name was big enough.
Got it.
To where it still rang bells. It may not have been as popping as he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But for me, it helped me develop a name for myself.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
So that was a blessing.
It was a blessing for me. And it was a blessing for the podcast. And even though the podcast isn't here for today, it kind of like really started like my momentum and my confidence.
Yeah. So it was like that ladder to
success.
Like
it was. It really was. And I was still bartending at the time. Like I just stopped bartending 2 years ago.
Okay.
Just stopped 2 years ago. I've had my company for 3 years, and I've stopped bartending 2 years ago.
And what was when did you realize, or what made you realize, like, I can stop this now? I don't want to do it, or either I don't have to do it.
I was like, Well, honestly, when I was bringing my laptop to work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I'm slinging drinks. Like,
Was it scary, like, to say, because I'm sure bartending, you're getting tips, you're getting like this money, this cash.
so this is when I knew that it was over. I would intentionally pick slower shifts. Like, who picks slower
Right.
shifts?
Like, why are you gonna waste your time with a slow shift?
I'm wasting my time. So I'm picking slower shifts, getting paid the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Just so I can be on my laptop, so I can do PR work for my client. And at that time, I think I was doing stuff for Iman Shumpert at the time.
Yeah.
So it was even better. Like, because I worked with him right before the pandemic, so he was doing other things. So I was just like, yeah, like, I'm definitely gonna devote my time to that. And I said, you know what? It's time. It's time for me to take a risk. I can do this. I can do it. Like, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid many different ways because I have other streams of income.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put everything into it. And Math would, like, ask for, like, different things because we stopped working together for a second because he stopped working. Like, he didn't stop working, but he was just battling and taking care of his kids and figuring things out. So he would just hit me up for, like, advice or to do a write-up here and there or do something for MEO.
Yeah.
Or, like, just small things, you know? And literally, I stopped bartending. And, like, the next week, he was just like, are you ready? And I'm like, for what? Because he was asking me to do little things.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, can you get this done faster? How much would it be for me to skip the line? Like, for all your clients. And I'm just like, it doesn't work like that. Like,
Yeah.
you got to wait a second.
Yeah.
So he's like, are you ready? Like, can you?
Ready to be full-time with him.
Can you? I was like, yeah, I can do it.
It's so crazy because you say, I took the risk. You said, I can do this. That's such a hard decision for a lot of people to make. Like, sometimes people are just so kind of like paralyzed from what they've always known or what like society says, okay, make sure you have this stability. Did you ask for signs or were you receiving signs that you just knew?
I was. So, okay. So one was my health. I was getting unhealthy. Bartending every day, being on your feet, drinking, and, like, not eating healthy. I was going through a lot of psychological things.
Yeah.
And so that was one.
Okay.
And I was like, God, please, like, I need to figure something out. You know, like, I don't need to do this. But I always knew that it was always something that I can go back to. So I didn't want to totally come out the door because I'm like, if I come out the door, it's like riding a bike. But if I totally come out that door, I'm going to have to get put on the training wheels again, you know? So I always wanted to have one shift or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm like, just in case. You know what I'm saying?
Stay on the books.
Right, exactly. So, but then I was like, you know what? No, like, my health. And then I got called for a reality show that a friend of mine was producing about creatives. And I was like, okay. And, you know, I wasn't really happy about my weight at the time. But I was just like, you know what? It's still a moving force into the space that I want to be in.
Yeah.
And I just kept asking God, like, God, just get me to where I need to be to sustain the things that I need to get your blessings. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know that if you're going to bless me, I have to be in a certain space. So just guide me to that space. And I literally just trusted God. And while I was doing a reality show, I also went to California with my brother because we have a business together, Drink, and it's a cannabis lemonade company.
Yeah.
And we were in California. While we were there, I reconnected with a friend of mine that I haven't spoken to in a while. And she said that there is a book that changed her life. And I said, okay, girl. Like, she said, no, like, and her life is good. Like, it's really good. Really,
so you're like, okay, I'm going to listen.
Right. She's like, no, it changed my life. This is the reason why I'm here. So she told me about the book. The book is called The Magic.
Called The Magic.
Yeah, and she said, read this book, girl. And I haven't talked to her in a while. Like, we fell out a little bit. We weren't really talking like that. But again, I asked God to give me signs. So I was just going with God. And one of those signs was to reconnect with her. And reconnecting with her, she put me onto that book. The day that I opened that book, my life has changed. Has changed 1,000%, 360
degrees.
Is
it 360? Yes, 360.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I'm like 365, 80, whatever. Like, whatever it is, the globe. Like, totally changed. So I read that book. I read it 3 times already. When I was reading it, I was noticing the change. And while I was noticing the change, I put my friends on. I was like, yo, y'all, like, it's real, like, and being spiritual is one thing, but sometimes you need a guide. Sometimes you need a push. Sometimes you need those steps, and that's what that is. It holds you accountable. You write down these thoughts every day. You write down your affirmations. You practice gratitude every day. And I've always had gratitude. I've always been a person of gratitude. It just magnified it to 1,000. So literally having that book, I went there. I got the book. Once I got the book, read it, I gifted about 20 of my girlfriends. Seriously. Maybe more at this point. Like literally, even strangers. If somebody comes up to me, like, and this happens to me often, people just talk to me. And they'll talk to me about the craziest things, like maybe that's something like heavy. I'd be like, yo, do you have an address? Can I just send you this book?
Oh, wow. That's how much it changed your life. You were like, this is what you need.
Yeah, I'm like, if you decide to use it, cool. But just know you don't have to pay for it. It's right there. If you wanna read it, if you wanna try to do something different, it's right there. Kayla. Changed. I lost 60 pounds. I lost 60 pounds. I am the publicist of a #1 YouTube independent podcast, My Expert Opinion Show, with one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
With your friend.
With my friend.
Who believed in you.
Who believed in me from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's basically showing that hard work does pay off and that dreams do come true, right? But not without gratitude and faith.
Not without gratitude. So tell me this, like, you said you were listening to God. It was just you and God, and you guys were figuring it out, or he was helping you figure it out, or God was helping you figure out the universe, whatever you want to call it. How did you get yourself in a place where you knew the difference between the voice of God and all the other noise that's out here? Because there's so much that we consume consciously and unconsciously. And, how did you know what was the right voice?
They say insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yes.
I was doing a lot of that.
Okay.
And when I started practicing the magic and meditating every day, there doesn't go one day without I don't go one day without meditating. I saw the results, and they were totally different than the results I was bringing in before.
Got it.
And I was like, I like these results.
Yeah.
These are the results that I want. When I say anything that I want, I need, I ask for, I believe, I think, I receive. It really is a thing, and it's really true. Yeah. It's one of those things. I was really just telling somebody today that if you listen to the most successful people, it sounds redundant, it sounds cliche, but like a lot of them say it's because of God and grace and gratitude and just being present and keeping the same attitude, like a positive attitude, keep going, but gratitude.
Yeah.
They say that. And I used to be one of those people like, it's not that easy. Like, like, of course you would say that.
It's not easy, but it is.
Right. Like, of course you would say that. You're successful. Of course you would say that. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
But it's that easy.
Oh, that's true. I have a friend who'd be like, yeah, of course, they're rich already. It's like, but It's a process.
Right? It's a process. It's a process. It's doing the work, but it's doing the work of self. So that's my thing. It's doing self-work. You have to be happy with yourself in order to truly be successful. For me, success is being spiritually sound. Success is being able to do what I love when I want to do it. Success is being happy and being healthy, and this is all, if I don't get a dime out of it, I think I would still be happy.
Yeah.
The thing with gratitude, though, you don't go without.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like an energetic pull.
Yeah.
When you have that gratitude.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm like going to tear up a little bit because I'm feeling so, I have a lot of gratitude that like you're here and that these conversations that we're able to have. It's just like I'm being surrounded by women who, with pure hearts.
Yeah.
And who believe in sisterhood and uplift. Like you send me an encouraging text. It's pure love. And I've been asking for that change in my life to overcome some of my insecurities about us, making female friends, making friends in general. So I'm like, wow, I'm over here listening to you tell me your story, and it's amazing.
It's real, and I'm happy that I get to touch you because honestly, I was telling somebody else, for me, it could have went other ways.
Yeah.
So quickly.
Yeah.
It has been other ways.
Yeah.
So many times. There's been I remember days where I've seen things and I was just like, I don't know, and because I wasn't good with self. And also, speaking of even having bonds with women, gaining the knowledge of self and gratitude and God and spirit, I realized that 9 times out of 10, it's not a me thing. The only person you can control is you.
Yeah.
The only actions that I can control are my own. Everybody else's actions, that's on them. So it makes me look at people totally different. And not in a bad way, in a loving way. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. I definitely had to get some people out of my life.
Yeah.
For sure. Because some people just don't deserve to be there. But then there's those people that you may be there and you may not be as deserving to be there, but you're not really hurting me. You have issues. And because you have issues, you don't feel me.
Got it.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's not a me problem.
Yeah.
That's a you problem.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is send you a magic book and give you a hug.
That's your care package?
That's my care package.
Yeah.
So
you stop taking responsibility for everyone.
I used to take a lot of responsibility. I used to be like, man, I just wonder why doesn't she like me? Or why doesn't this person feel me? Or why didn't I get invited to this event?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm just like, I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I love the energy. I love where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I like being in a space of solidarity because now I feel like I can open my own doors. And Deb Antony told me something, and she's like, I can tell you're not a part of a clique. She's like, New York is really cliquish.
Is it?
She's like, New York is really cliquish like that. She's like, I can tell that you're not a part of a clique. Don't be a part of anybody's clique because you're an individual.
Yeah.
And you got this. You're strong enough. And that meant a lot to me.
Wow.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
And you just rolling. You rolling with that.
I'm just rolling. I'm rolling. And, being in a shop with a bunch of guys every day makes me stronger. And they're like my brothers.
Yeah.
So.
And then coming from the Navy, I'm just like, you must be used to what, one of the things, we say the #1 independent YouTube podcast, which is incredible. Congratulations. What what role do you know that you have played to get it to where it is? Give yourself your flowers.
Okay. A lot. I feel like I'm a really good communicator, and people like me, right? People like Math too. Like, he's great. He has a great smile and all that stuff. But I've built relationships over the years. So with my expert opinion, they come around all the time. Like, we had dreads from Black Sheep, which I got, and he's like, yeah, I remember when you were on that other podcast. Like, you're still doing this. You know what I mean? We had Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg, and I was like, yeah, I interned for you, Cypher. He was like, yeah, I remember. He's like, that's crazy, and look at you. And Joel Ortiz, same thing, you know? And also with social media, because I handle all Math social media, and that is a dictionary in itself. So I keep that moving, and I feel like that's essential because social media and media move so fast. So to get the word out is important, right? So that's my job. Yeah. To get our clips out, to get the media's attention. We go viral often. Yeah. That's me. Yes. You know, especially in the past 8 months. So you know, I do a lot, and I give order in the shop. You know, they make fun of me because I have these rules.
Yeah, I remember you when I was at the last one. You were reading off the rules. I loved it.
They make fun of me, but I promise you, I did a test on purpose, and it was after you, and it was, what show was it? Darn, I wish I could remember. I don't remember because we do so many. Yeah. But it was one show, and I did it. It was after you guys, and it was a mess.
You didn't say your rules?
I didn't say the rules. Oh. And everybody was unruly.
So you were basically trying to see, do my rules really stick?
Yeah. I wanted to see if they stuck, one. And Math didn't implement it that day. But I was like, let me just let it roll. Like, because I think it was a light day. And it seemed like people were there that was already there before. So it was like, okay. But then in my mind, I'm like, I just feel like other people are going to come. You know, because people straggle or whatever. Yeah. And they did. And it was a mess. It was a mess. Yeah. Wow. I didn't say anything. I'm saying something now. And he'll probably be like, word. But yeah. Yeah. Wow. It was crazy. And I was talking to one of the other co-hosts, Mecca, about it. I was like, you see it? And he was like, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. It was crazy. So you're the only woman on the team?
Yeah. Besides Jenna.
Okay.
Matt's wife.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Okay. She does all the like YouTube stuff.
Got it.
And all the back. So I work with her. Okay. Parallel. But like on site, it's just me. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And my little voice. And they listen, so that's cool. Yeah,
they can't help.
Yeah, they listen. They listen to me, so I'm grateful. And, shout out to, Team My Expert Opinion.
What's one thing that you could say has really helped you keep going to achieve the level of, I guess, happiness and success you have now?
God and meditation.
Heavy on the meditation, heavy on the God.
Heavy. I wake up, my aim every day is to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Most times I wake up at 4. The latest is like 8. The latest is 10. Like, that's the latest. I get out of bed. When I put my foot down, I thank God for allowing my feet to touch the ground, allowing me to wake up, open my eyes. I walk to the bathroom, and I meditate. I do sometimes 10 minutes, 15, 20. Sometimes I do a 30. It just all depends on how I feel. And I do a face regimen. I'm a brand ambassador, too, so... That's
killing it.
Yeah, that's insane. So, I do that. And like my clients too are dope, and it's not just Math. I also do PR for Tyanna Wallace. Okay. Biggie's daughter. And Math was my first independent, but Tyanna was like my first sign. Like, like glue. Like she's like
I love that.
stuck. So they believe in me so much,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, it's definitely God and heavy on the meditation.
Yeah.
But I'm blessed with great clients
Yeah.
that believe in me. That I'm like, you could have chose any seasoned publicist that's been in this game for years.
But they feel the energy. I think it's certain people they're just not, like, for me. I'm not going where the energy's bad. I don't want it's not even success when you're surrounded by people that you don't like or you don't trust or you don't feel good around. For me, that's not success.
Right. I agree. Success is when you feel good all the time.
Yeah, with everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the meditation, because meditation has been a heavy theme even in season 2 thus far with Women of TmrO. It has. I mean, literally every woman that I've spoken with has highlighted meditation as a daily practice.
Powerful.
It's crazy. And I'm like, I guess the meditation seems to be what brings you to your center and allows you to, like, continue to, like, cultivate this inner power to discernment, peace, focus, clarity.
Yes. Heavy on this discernment.
Discernment, yeah.
Discernment, you know, because, and I listened to you when you said that you were in a space where you were, like, deciding, you know, how to let people in, you know?
Yeah.
Discernment is important, but sometimes it's difficult because, again, people come wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
And that's where meditation comes in. You meditate on a clear mind and you ask God for all the things that you need, all the things that you want, all the things that he wants to provide you because he's leading too. You know, of course, ask for your wants, but you also ask for the things that he wants for you. And I feel like God gives you that power of the things that he wants for you.
Yes.
God wants you to be protected.
Yeah.
God wants great people around you. So if you ask him for what he wants from you, he'll give you those tools to figure it out. He'll give you those tools to figure out how to let the right people in.
Yeah.
Because you need support.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even it may be difficult, but we need support. Women need support. And we need support from other women.
Yes.
And we need support from other great women.
Yeah.
I posted like a phrase the other day, and it said something like, I wish I had it handy. I meant to, like, have a few words handy, but I forgot. But it said something like, the real flex is having a group of dope women in your corner. Like something like that. Like that is a real flex.
That's a flex. That is
Word.
a flex.
Like I feel like you're a flex. I'm like, yo, I can be like, yo, Kayla, yeah.
No, for real.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
My great girlfriends, I can say those are my friends. You know what I mean? Like those are my sisters. And it's important to have that. I have different friends. Like, I don't have many friends, but I have the small circle that I do have. It fits well.
It fits good.
Yeah. And I hope that
I'm building it. It's happening.
It.
I feel it right now. Yeah, good. I feel it happening. I'm so grateful for that. So I'm reading a book. Well, actually, it's audio. I love audio.
You did tell me that.
Okay,
I want to get into audio.
I have to do audio. I think reading puts me to sleep because I get relaxed. I'm like, the audio is something I can listen to on my walks. I can listen to it when I'm driving. I can listen to it while I'm laying down in bed, and I'm just into the audio. But I've listened to it almost. I think I'm on my 4th time listening to it, and you know, I'm at a point in my life where I am asking for those signs. I'm meditating. I want the answers to come to me, and sometimes it's tricky because I'm like, I have these desires, right? And I might fixate on a desire, and then I'm like, oh, but is this my lower self desiring this, or is this my higher self desiring this? And I almost get afraid to manifest things too hard because I don't want to manifest the wrong thing. And one of the things that the book states is when you're asking for things, ask for what you want, but also say, give me the divine equivalent if it's not. You know, so it's like say you're in.
I like that.
Right? You say you're in love with something, or say you like want this job, and you're like, this job feels like the right move. I feel empowered. I'm happy. Blah blah blah, and you know you really want this job, but what you want is the feeling. Or what you know that the job will help you accomplish. So maybe it's not that specific job, but it's the equivalent of whatever will bring
Thank you for that. That's different.
Right?
Yeah, the divine
Equivalent. So the divine part is what God wants for you.
Right.
And the equivalent is how it's making you feel in your spirit. So if I can't have this, or if this is not the divine, answer, provide me with the equivalent of it.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, I'll have to send you that book.
Yes, please.
The audio version.
I'm like, remember that. Write that down. Because sometimes I get stumped. I write my affirmations daily. The magic says do 1 through 10 daily. Okay. So I do 1 through 10 usually. Sometimes I'll do like 12. I'll be like, okay, I feel a little greedy. Like I got to get this out. But then I'm also like, sometimes they're repetitive, right?
Yeah.
And because I want them really bad. But then other things happen. And then sometimes it changes, but I don't want it to change too much. You know, I don't want God to be like, you're confusing me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want this or you don't?
Right.
So I like the divine equivalent.
Yes.
Because still like, this is what I want, but I may not want it to look like this.
Yes.
Somewhere around it.
Yeah.
Because manifestation is very powerful, especially when you're in it. When you're aware.
Yeah.
And you know, and you have that power, and you're connected.
Yes.
It's so important. I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It really is. I say divine all the time because it's not a surprise because it's what I asked for.
Yeah.
But, it will wow you often.
Yeah, I'm really excited because, like I said, meditation has been the theme lately, speaking things into existence, and I'm really feeling that. I'm at a time in my life where I'm calling it all in. I'm calling it all in, and I know I'm ready. And if I'm not, make me ready right before it happens. But okay, what I want to kind of like come to a close, and I want to find out. What does it look like for you in the next year, 2, 3? What do you see for yourself? What do you want for yourself?
Oh my gosh, so much. It's so funny because when I meditate, she usually says, imagine being on a beach with light blue ocean with a big net and a bunch of orbs are on the net. Those orbs are your dreams and your goals and everything. So when I think about the next 3 years, I think about all those orbs in that net.
Okay.
I think of full entrepreneurship, many streams of income, but those many streams of income to service other people. I want to service so bad in a big way. And I am so excited about it because I don't really know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Every time I think about it, I think about Africa. I think about a tropical island. And I think about my community. And I always see myself in these locks. And I see myself.
You see yourself in the
locks?
locks?
I see myself in these locks. And I see myself just getting to it. Like helping kids, doing disaster work, anything that I can do to make a difference with the wealth that I've gained. So I definitely see wealth in many streams of income.
Got it.
Whether it's the business that my brother welcomed me into, whether it's MEO, through the blessings of MEO, whether it's through the blessings of Tyanna, any of my other clients, Chasity Cox PR. Also, I really want to have some vending machines.
Okay.
So whether it's through that.
Yeah. I see that happening.
Yeah, that is definitely happening.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Yeah.
But whether it's through any of those in the next few years, all of that, is going to be paid forward to something so big. I just see myself doing something so big for the world. It's like brings me near tears.
Service is just such a...
Yeah, it's so important to me.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like people are so selfish in this world that it's so easy to be selfless. People think it's so hard. And I'm like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do is to be selfless and give. And I just want to show that in a big way. So in the next few years.
And you already are, believe it or not. You already are, so it's just going to keep magnifying.
Yeah. That's what I see. I just see myself making a difference in a huge way, in a big way, to where everybody's going to see it.
Yeah.
And remember, and hopefully emulate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't ask you though. I want people to know about the cannabis lemonade.
Okay. So it's Dro Drink.
Dro Drink.
Dro Drink. So Dro Drink was started by my brother Champ. He's basically my brother in love. He's not my biological brother, but he's my brother and his friends, and they welcomed me in.
Got it.
And it's 100% organic and natural. It comes in 3 flavors: lemonade, berry, and pineapple ginger. 50 milligrams of THC in the 8-ounce bottles and 100 in the 16-ounce bottles. We have CBD water. We have merch. We have patches. We have buttons. We're going to be doing so much, but we're literally in 10 states.
Awesome.
Yeah, so different people vend.
Okay.
And yeah, just Dro Drink.
Dro Drink. Okay. So before we get out of here, tell everybody where they can find you, your businesses, all that.
So you can find me at Chasity Cox PR on everything.
Okay.
Dro Drink is, I think it's drodrink.com. Let me just make sure because things have changed. So you may need to edit that. I don't want to sound unsure. Yeah. So I don't want to sound unsure. So it's drodrink.com. You can find Dro Drink at drodrink.com. You go there. You get the number. You call it, and then they'll guide you from there.
Got it. Awesome. And then the #1 independent podcast,
My Expert Opinion Show. Tune into my Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion Show on YouTube, the #1 independent YouTube hip hop podcast in the world.
Absolutely.
Tyanna Wallace, Notorious Clothing.com. She has so many amazing things in store. She is talented. One of my favorite Leos in the world.
Okay.
So please follow her at Tyanna810, Math Hoffa at math.hoffa, at My Expert Opinion Show, and me, Chasity Cox PR at Chasity Cox PR. Kayla, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I love you.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, I almost cried.
I can't believe I almost cried just now. I think I did kind of cry.
A little bit.
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Guys.
Thank you.
See you next time.